Hello students, welcome to the history class. Today we will learn the fifth lesson of history textbook, that is Through the Eyes of Travelers. यात्रियों के नज़रिए से यात्रियों ने भारतीय समाज के बारे में जो देखा, जो समझा, उन्होंने अपने यात्रा वृत्तांतों में लिखा. Time period which we are going to take in this lesson is 10th to 17th century. Students, we travel for various reasons from one place to another place. We travel due to search of job, for studies. We travel as the traders, merchants, sometimes as a pilgrims, and sometimes driven by a sense of adventure. When we travel from one place to another place, we encounter a world that is very different. We admire the landscapes, different customs, languages, beliefs, and practices of the people. So, the travelers who came to India, they have also written their accounts in different languages as they belong to different backgrounds. Unfortunately, we don't have the much accounts of women travelers, though we know that they also travels. Sometimes these accounts they deal with different affairs of courts. Sometimes the travelers they focused on the architectural features and monuments only. For example, Abdul Razzaq Samarkandi, who visited Vijayanagara Empire, he has mentioned about the description of the city of Vijayanagara. In this lesson, we will learn about the accounts of three travelers. First one is Al-Biruni, who came to India from Uzbekistan in 11th century. Ibn Battuta, who came from Morocco in 14th century. And third one is Francois Bernier, who came to India in 17th century. This lesson will be compiled into 3 volumes. Today we will learn about Al-Biruni. When we learn about the brief life sketch of Al-Biruni, we came to know that he was born in 973 in Khwarizm. Khwarizm is a place in Uzbekistan. Khwarizm, that time it was an important center of learning. So Al-Biruni, he received the best language, best education available at that time. He was well versed in many languages. For example, Syriac, Arabic, Persian, Hebrew, and Sanskrit. He also came across about the works of Greek philosophers like Plato, but with the Arabic translations. By the time in 1017, Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni invaded Khwarizm. He took several scholars and poets back to his capital Ghazni. Al-Biruni was also among one of the hostages. By the time Al-Biruni was living in Ghazni, he developed his interest in India. This was not unusual because from the ancient time itself, many Sanskrit works on different subjects, astronomy, mathematics, medicine, but translated into Arabic language. Besides that, Punjab became a part of Ghazni Empire. Besides that, Al-Biruni spent many years in the company of Brahmin priests and scholars. He learned Sanskrit. He studied religious and philosophical texts. So he was very keen to visit India. He visited India. He observed the social, religious condition of India as he has mentioned in his textbook, which is in his travelogue, that is Kitabul Hind. This book is written in Arabic. This book is very simple and lucid. Another name of Kitabul Hind is Tahqiqat-e-Hind. This book contains 80 chapters. बेटा ये जो क्वेश्चन है अल-बिरूनी की किताब पर, ये एग्ज़ाम में कई बार आता है, 3 मार्क्स के लिए आ सकता है. So the book was written in Arabic language. Name of the book was Kitabul Hind. It contains 80 chapters. It contains chapters on various topics such as religion, philosophy, festivals, astronomy, alchemy, manners and customs, social life, weights and measures, iconography, laws and meteorology. This book is written in very interesting way. Each chapter, it starts with a question, following with the description based on Sanskritic tradition, and he concludes the chapter with the comparison with other cultures. So it is very interesting that Al-Biruni had a deep knowledge of Indian culture, religion, and different aspects of Indian life, which he has mentioned in his book. Students, today is the world of technology, and technology enabled us to have a better understanding of the world. But अगर हम कुछ सदियों पीछे चले जाएं, तो जिस समय तकनीक इतनी विकसित नहीं थी, जब यात्री एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जाते थे, तो उन्हें बहुत सारी परेशानियों का सामना करना पड़ता था। अल-बरूनी ने अपने अकाउंट्स में मेंशन किया है कि जब वो भारत आया तो उसे कुछ बाधाएं मिली. He has discussed several barriers when he came to India. He says that the first among these was language. He says that Sanskrit was so different from Arabic and Persian that the ideas and concepts could not be easily translated from one language to another. The second barrier which was faced by Al-Biruni, or he identified, was the difference in religious beliefs and practices. And third barrier, he says that the self-absorption and consequent insularity of the local population. Consequent insularity of the local population means स्थानीय लोग जो थे वो बाहर के यानी कि दूसरे कल्चर के इंसान को जल्दी अपने साथ नहीं मिलाते थे. These were the three barriers which were mentioned by Al-Biruni by the time he visited India. Besides that, Al-Biruni has given a description of the society of India. He says that the casteism was prevailing in India. He tries to explain the casteism by comparing it with the social categories of Persia. He says that the social divisions were not unique to India. He says that in Persia, ancient Persia में भी उस समय 4 social categories थी. First, he mentions the category of knights and princes. Second one, monks, priests and lawyers. Third one, physicians, astronomers and other scientists. And fourth category, according to him, was peasants and artisans. So he says that it's okay, casteism was not the new thing, but he says that he is against of the notion of pollution. He remarked that everything which falls into the state of impurity strives and succeeds in regaining its original condition of purity. Al-Biruni, he says that the sun cleanses the air and the salt in the sea prevents the water from becoming polluted. But in Indian system, it is the casteism in Indian system is against the law of nature. It is very rigid. Al-Biruni has studied the Sanskrit text, and his description of casteism has been taken from the normative Sanskrit text, the text he studied. He has mentioned the theory of the origin of the casteism, from which was written in Purush Sukt, that the Varna system in Indian society were originated from the divine body. He says that the highest caste was Brahmins. They enjoyed the highest status in the society, and they were originated from the head of Brahm, that is the divine body. Second caste, he says, that was the Kshatriyas, who were created from the soldiers and hands of Brahmana. They enjoyed the second status in society. Third one, according to Al-Biruni, was of Vaishyas, who were created from the thighs of Brahmins, and Shudras were kept in the fourth category, which were created from the feet of the divine body, that is Brahm. So this was the description given by Al-Biruni regarding the casteism of India. But in real life, if we see that the casteism in India was not quite as rigid, इतना भी ये सख्त नहीं था, क्योंकि there were some categories which were defined as antyaj. Antyaj means they were born outside the system, and these antyaj, they were expected to provide inexpensive labor to peasants and jamindars. So that means though they were not the part of the society, they were subjected to social operations, but they were the part of the economic network of Indian society. So this is all about Al-Biruni. In the next class, we will learn about Ibn